Greetings. Once again, I want to talk about the Lula Smart Trial that are underway in Brooks County, Georgia. I also have some video or DVD I want to share with you concerning problems that were identified in Brooks County a couple years ago. Today was the 4th day of Lula Smart Trial. Yet, no television station, no news media in South Georgia seemed to care about voting rights. And so, we watched in shock and awe how a jury was selected in Brooks County, by computers I might add, and the jury pool was somewhat diverse, but whatever process was used, there is only one black male, only one black person was placed on Lula Smart's jury. And this should not be a shock because most of us have never seen a majority black jury, no time, let alone an all black jury. My mother said she never saw that and she was 90 years old. But we know something is wrong when a postal worker that started this so-called alleged voter fraud by seeing bundles of ballots in a drop box and then later finding out that the attorney for the Brooks County School Board of Education hired a private investigator for 8 days to go out and investigate. And if he, like the postal worker, thought that something was abnormal in the 2010 election, they should have called the proper authorities. But no, it didn't happen like that, as we are finding out. And the beautiful thing about it is that all this stuff that's coming out now will be public record. To see how the G.B.R. and others inflicted so much pain on a community based upon someone possibly just couldn't take the fact that for the first time in Brooks County history, blacks was a majority on the Brooks County Board of Education. Today is the 4th day of testimonies in this Lula Smart trial. She is one of 11 outstanding citizens called the Quitman 10+2. And it's amazing how the postal worker could take information off of a U.S. postal letter and give it to a private investigator or a person's unknown, and to not be charged with some violation of the law. Talking about handling ballots illegally, then to have the registrar to hire her granddaughter to work in the polling center as the attorney asked, and without even sending out application to other people, giving everybody a fair shot to get that position. There should be a problem with that as well. then to accuse someone of mishandling ballots when it's obvious that there's a much deeper problem in the people interfering with the absentee ballots and the voting process as came out in the trial today. And I'm not going to even try to sift through all the irregularities and the impediments that are put in the way of ordinary citizens. But everything that happened today and all the 5 witnesses that have come before Judge Richard, it is indeed amazing how somebody could put some of the best citizens in our community under so much pain by accusing them of alleged voter fraud. Judge Richard Porter, as I was saying, he seemed to be doing a pretty good job of moving the case right along, but what really concerns a lot of people in the courtroom is that no news media is there. No television. It seems as if though nobody cares about voting here in South Georgia. It seems to be a game that people are playing. But then again, guess what? That's nothing new. The citizens in Brooks County knew that something was wrong even before we heard these 5 witnesses come up today and really make mockery of the voting process in Brooks County. Ms. Linda Ford, Registrar, Secretary of State's Office, the Director of Elections, John Boon, the Postal Worker, Jack Mitchell, lawyer at the Brooks County Board of Education, and he was the one that took money out of his own pocket to hire a private investigator. But you don't know nothing about all of that. You didn't know nothing about it. Melba Lovett, Brooks County Registrar, and you should really should have heard her testimony. And Elizabeth Harris, probate judge, Chris Williams, that we left on the stand today, and he'll resume his testimonies tomorrow. And it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. And so what gets my attention is that nobody seemed to care. But I want you to look at a little bit of this video to let you all know that what the black community already know, and some of the white right people already know, is that the problems in Brooks County go far beyond the Quitman 10+2. This is an investigator from the Secretary of State's office. He's out of Macon, Georgia. He came to Brooks County at this particular meeting, in fact. But you don't know nothing about that because it was a whiteout to the general public, just like this court trial, the 4 days now. Tomorrow will be the 5th day. And yet you don't know nothing about it. It seems as if though the old Valdosta 1860 charter, which was displayed in City Hall, said that the mayor and council shall pass all proper and necessary laws and ordinances for the control of slaves and free persons of color, and to suppress and abate all nuisances arising from hogs, dogs, horses, and other animals straying at large in Valdosta. And so it seems like this mentality is not just limited to black people now, but to everybody. Let's listen to a little bit of this and let you see some of the problems that was highlighted to Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp's office, dating at least a year, 2, 3 years ago. But nothing happened. Let's see what some of the problems is, and nobody seems to care in the state of Georgia. And this includes the Secretary of State. And by the way, don't call me names, because this is not me on this video. The people that you see, it's not me. So I didn't create all this. The only difference between me and the person who you may call me is that I just want you to know the truth. I didn't create this. So don't blame me for what you're about to see. Listen, please.
Mr. Archie, one of the reasons why I asked about the film, because actually and we're going to provide another CD, I guess, but on that CD, one of Mr. Collins and the chairman of the Board of Elections admitted that they, in fact, changed the notarized document.
Now, this is in Brooks County, Georgia. Now, the Quitman 10 didn't have nothing to do with this. Lula Smart didn't have nothing to do with this. But the Secretary of State, the governor of the state of Georgia, could have 12 outstanding citizens. Let's continue.
And they felt that was, well, I think her exact words were, well, that's minor. It's not anything, that's not a big deal. Why are we getting upset about those things? Again, you know, I think the quote is, perception is reality. And the perception is that things are done their own way and not done the way that the Secretary of State of Georgia has mandated that it be. And so, again, a whole community or a whole voice of a community is shut down because the perception is their vote's not going to count anyway, because if they can change a notarized document, they definitely can change ballots, be it absentee ballots or whatever else. And I think that's the point that Mr. Maxwell was trying to make, that Mr. Collins made an open remark on the night of the election saying that there's going to be one runoff for sure. When he made a statement like that without even, which everything I read on the website, everything we did in Lowndes County and Thomas County, the absentee ballots that were already in place were counted before we even broke it. And that was even something on the website that said it was going to be done. Absentee ballots were going to be done first. But to make a comment like that is to almost say that I know what I can do to assure that this is going to be a runoff. Again, it's just a perception. When you say that out loud to folks, then first thing Mr. Maxwell or anyone else within earshot feels like, well, they're going to try to manipulate the process. And again, those, whether it was a joke or whether it was serious or whether it was maliciously done, though he has to be above reproach on anything like that. He has to be the most impartial person in the town.
That's right.
And he has done the exact opposite.
He proudly displays that he is a staunch conservative Republican, which negates trust as a Democrat that we will get any type of justice with him. He bends over backwards to assist Republican voters and will do everything within his power to discourage Democrats.
These people are spilling their guts. They are speaking sincere to this particular investigator. They think that they are going to be heard and that somebody's going to follow up on the problems in Brooks County concerning the voting. J.C. Cunningham was a candidate running for state office in this 175th district. I'm not sure, I think it is. But the point is that these people thought that the Secretary of State would get concerned and be concerned about trying to fix the real problem in Brooks County. But from what they tell me, they were sadly mistaken. This is Fannie Gibbs, an outstanding person in the community, and let's listen.
Participation in an election process.
Because one of the things that really disturbed me, because when we had all the mishaps, that's right, in District 5, with the wrong absentee ballot going out, and my name was nowhere on the ballot, and took a street, you understand, which lead.
This is County Commissioner James Maxwell a Vietnam disabled veteran who served his nation well. He now serves on the Board of Commissioners now. He's one of the best commissioners, I believe, that Brooks County have had in a long time. Listen, please.
Which is in the heart of District 5, and that whole street will redistrict, you understand, out of my district into another district. And we went back and worked with Valdosta over there and with the state, and we thought everything was smooth, you understand. And then all of a sudden what happened, the day of the election, people in my district went to the poll, they got rid of the vote, and the same thing, Holland district. Put the little card in there, and there's no county commissioner or no school board. That's right, that came up. So one of the ladies called me up and she said, Mr. Maxwell, I'm down at the poll down here, but I don't see your name. And
now, for those of you who would like to call me a racist or any other name you want, you so choose, that's fine. But let's deal with the facts of this and ask yourself, what did Secretary of State Brian P. Kemp do to assist Maxwell with these problems that his own investigator are listening to? And why didn't he respond back to the citizens in Brooks County? Now, it's okay to call me name, but let's just put that on hold for a couple years maybe until this is resolved. Then you can call me what you want, but deal with the facts of what I'm giving you, and that your news media didn't report this to you. Your Quitman Free Press didn't report this to you. Now, don't blame me for that. If what I'm saying is a lie, then call me on the lie and say, George, you're lying. And then I'll get you in front of this camera or whatever TV station you like, and we could talk about it as it tells it men and citizens of this beloved nation that we all love. You see, let's not get angry. Let's just deal with what can make us have a better nation in the eyes of the world.
Voting for you, you understand, ever since that you know, but they telling me down here that I'm no longer in your district. How could that happen? You in the middle of my district. You understand? Redistrict didn't start in the middle, it started on the outside. Redistrict moves, you understand, on the outside. That's what happened. I spread further out. I don't come in, you understand, and damage anything within the district. And then what happened, and I said, well, okay, get it straight. Matter of fact, they told her that you need to go in on the cash your ballot. Well, she cashed the ballot. What happened? One of the guys down there, you understand, had experience, that's right. This young man, that's what happened. I guess they hired him, you understand, coming from one of the stores here and put him directly, you know what I mean, and hollered that precinct. Didn't even know, I don't think he even had any training. But tell this voter, you understand, well, you're not in Mr. Maxwell's district, so you need to go and get on the cash your ballot. So that's what she did. But anyway, now, let me tell you this now. My next door neighbor, that's right, Henry Williams, right next door to me out there in the country on Hickory Head Road, where the voting precinct is on the corner of Hickory Head and Woodville, okay? This young man went to the polls, got rid of the vote, put the card in there. My name didn't come up. And so Henry told them, said that, well, I don't see Mr. Maxwell now. And one of the workers said, well, you're not in Mr. Maxwell's district. He said, well, how can I not be in Mr. Maxwell's district when I'm his next door neighbor? What happened? So then we had, that's right, another young lady down there, that's right, said, wait a minute, let me get this straight. Now, this is my next door neighbor. You see that?
Now, these people made out official complaints. Unlike what we heard in court today, they took some emails and they went out into the field and used a form and let people talk, and they say it's they received 42 complaints from individuals who tried to vote, etc., etc. So the point that the Attorney King was trying to make was that, or not trying to make, he made it, was that there was nothing on the form saying it was a complaint form. But these people actually made complaints, and I understand they signed them. And they gave some to this investigator, and they sent others up to the Secretary of State's office. Yet, from what they tell me, and others at public meetings that Secretary of State nor the investigator ever got back with them. So once again, this is the state of Georgia, and this is the voting process, and it seems like the state or the federal government, somebody should be concerned about what is happening in our beloved community.
And so what happened? So now you know what seriousness we had some serious problems. What happened?
Not serious enough for the Secretary of State.
When you understand, that's right. Right, and y'all prophet and everything, John, and you good for anybody. And then he goes, man, I didn't see your name on that. What happened? So those are the problems that we had up until the time of the election.
Well, that's the date of the election.
Date of the election, not up to that, but date of the election, you're right.
Mr. Hart, you know, the thing is, I think this whole thing could have been resolved if the concerns, if there was more concern about the civil rights of the folks of Brooks County was paramount instead of everything being talked about Quitman 10+2.
Now that was another meeting that I recorded, by the way, that the news media never reported. It was like it was a whiteout. The supervisor there did not know anything about citizens having a right to record at public meetings, and this is a matter of record. But here again, it seems as if though these problems are treated differently from the alleged problem that involved Lula Smart and the Quitman 10+2, and we can only ask why. It's amazing what's going on, y'all. And we can sit back and keep playing, talking about he or she is a racist and that type of thing. It's not about racism. It's not. It's about right and wrong. It's about right and wrong, and always have been that way. Listen, please.
Every time I would come to the Board of Elections and talk, was always this thing of, well, we got to make sure everything is above or close because of Quitman 10. And again, I believe that Quitman 10+2 is a sham anyway, but that's just my opinion. And had folks been trained in the Board of Elections properly 2 years ago, there would never been a such thing as Quitman 10.
Do you hear what he's saying? Do you hear what he's saying? We are in court today, and we'll be in court tomorrow, probably all next week. He said that if the people was properly trained, and apparently not only in the Board of Elections office here, but in the Postal Service. This man was working for the Post Office in Quitman for 18 years and didn't even know what the Privacy Act was, didn't know that he's not supposed to take information off of an official envelope and pass it on to a civilian person or somebody out there that he don't even know about, he says, and then provide that information to justify the investigation or the indictment of 12 people called the Quitman 10+2. We had better wake up, stand up, and stay up. And I mean stay up in the level of right and righteousness. Listen.
So much emphasis put on the negative from the past that was brought about because of lack of training, that no one bothered to it. They were so busy making sure that we were dotting every I and crossing every T to ensure that we were doing absentee ballots properly, that no one ever bothered to go look at the Board of Elections. You see, in this film that you're getting ready to get, the state law says that we must adhere to the sunshine laws. That Board of Election meeting was called. It was not a secretary there. They did not use proper Robert Rules of Order.
We're going to freeze it right there. Next clip, I want to show you about how they disregard Robert's Rules of Order. We're going to pick it up right here. But I want to cut this because it's something else I want to do. Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press, and we know that Lula Smart Trial is going on, but then again, it's a little bigger than some Lula Smart or anything else. It's about voting rights, and our ancestors, Martin Luther King, and everybody suffered, bled, and died to get this great right, and it seemed like somebody trying to take it away. Stay tuned. Next clip.